Good evening. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. We're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance by Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're gonna move on to roll call.
Mayor Villarreal,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores. Here. Councilmember Nate.
Present.
Councilmember Soria.
Here.
And Councilmember Sanchez is absent with notice.
Do we have an approval for the agenda? Motion?
I second.
I second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Soria, second from Councilmember Nate. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries 4-0.
We move on to public comment. The public is invited to comment on any subject under the jurisdiction of Lindsay City Council. Please note that the speakers that wish to comment on a regular item or public requested by a hearing on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to speak when public comment for that item is requested by mayor. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person, with 30 minutes for a total comment period, unless otherwise indicated by the mayor. The public may also choose to submit a comment before the meeting via email. Public comments received via email will be distributed to the council prior to the start of the meeting and incorporated into the official minutes. However, they will not be read aloud. Under state law, matters presented under public comment cannot be acted upon by the council at this time. We're taking public comments. Do you have any public comments today?
Sorry.
No worries.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Ramos, and I am the Lindsay High School City Council representative. I will begin on an update with athletics. So this past Friday, our girls soccer team played their senior night against Grand Hills, where they celebrated all their accomplishments throughout the season alongside the family. We also held a football banquet, which I'm sure a couple of you were there, where they awarded with the JV and varsity players for an absolutely outstanding season. On to club updates. This past Friday, we held the 8th grade expo for the career technical education. All the 8th graders around our elementaries were able to learn about our very successful pathways and electives, and as they are preparing to enter the 9th grade and high school for years. As for dance, they attended a competition this past week where they earned both first and second place in separate events. Proudly representing our Lindsay High School dance team. And on to FPLA this past Saturday. Many members attended the Central Section Leadership Conference, where they earned their way to the State Leadership Conference, where Lindsay High School is celebrated as an outstanding chapter in California, which, as the president, makes me very proud. And to finish off this week's updates, I want to give a special shout out to our Youth of the Year students, Araceli Sanchez and Helena. We as a school are incredibly proud of them for all their success, all their accomplishments, and overall city involvement. And thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Jessica. There any more public comments?
Good evening. Josh Flowers, Blessings of Liberty, out of Strathmore. This last week, we actually, my team and I were able to sit down and work on going back through Lindsay's agenda items over the past year. And we wanted to come and address the council and actually just give you some ideas I think that might work for you. But we believe that Lindsay might be at a higher financial risk right now. And we want to try to help you maybe avoid the economic disaster if it continues down this path. Now, we only are limited to what we can see online. But from what we just found online, cash reserves are shrinking, debt payments are rising, infrastructure looks like it might be getting neglected. And if we continue down this path, it will lead to a Chapter 9 bankruptcy, which is a scenario that is actually devastating for city services, local businesses, and everyone who calls Lindsay home. So here's the evidence that I have for that. In the past few months, the city has outpaced revenue with warrants listed consistently over 1 million per cycle. Our debt payments are over $91,000 in one recent period, continuing to strain our resources while tax revenues remain uncertain. We have millions in settlement funds, but they're kind of handcuffed to where you can't even access them. Where we can't direct them where the funds are most needed. Meanwhile, roads are only $900 road repair. So water compliance costs are rising, and major business expansions or efforts are underway, but we're just not seeing anything that's looks like it's trending in the right direction. And with cash, basically burning through the cash, we're a little concerned. So here's what we're going to recommend for you. The warning signs are there; they can't be ignored. Declaring an economic emergency now gives you flexibility to move funds and restructure obligations and implement proactive policies before it's too late. So there's 5 steps. Basically, 1, declare an economic emergency. 2, freeze non-essential spending, do an audit of all your legal and consulting fees. Prioritize city services over external contracts. 3, boost local business growth. Implement local vendor priority policies, which actually keeps government spending within our community. 4, restructure debt and liabilities. We begin negotiating now and refinancing or delay payments before financial strain gets worse. And then 5, develop a long-term revenue plan. Invest in economic incentives, housing development, a new business-friendly policy approach. Really the choice comes down to, what we decide today. We must act with urgency, with boldness, and with a clear strategy. Declaring an economic emergency is not a failure. It's a sign of leadership. It is a lifeline to protect our cities from Sacramento's policies, which are hurting small cities. And so I drafted some resolutions for you guys for your consideration, and you guys can just look it over and see if this might be a way to help you free up some funds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You done that well. Do you have any more public comments? Going once? No? All right, public comments closed. So now we're moving on to council report. Mr. Sylvia?
Good evening, everybody. Buenas noches todos. I wanted to share that I went on a ride along last Friday. Colonel, Adam, or what's his name? Corporal, excuse me. I'm getting familiar with Corporal Adam, and it was really enlightening. It's my first ride along in my entire life, and I really appreciate the fact that Adam took me throughout the city and gave me a point of view to the public safety department, and I got to see some neat stuff. I got to see the drone in action that we have. I got to see what happens behind the scenes once someone is placed in custody, and it was really enlightening. I really do appreciate the fact that we have such commitment from officers. They explained to me the shifts, words, 12-hour shifts, 8 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off, and as someone that works long hours, I understand the toll it takes, so I really do appreciate that. And one thing that I took away from that is all the calls that they do aren't always considered quote unquote emergencies. And so I really take great pride in sharing the fact that our public safety department is going above and beyond and delivering quality service. I really do appreciate seeing that firsthand. And then the following day, I attended the Chamber Awards. Congratulations to all the award winners. It was a fantastic event put on by the Chamber. It's a special time that we celebrate our local heroes, and I had a good time. I also got a chance to skate at the new skate park. I'm not a skateboarder, but I ride skates, and I fell. The ramp didn't break, so it worked out. It's really a wonderful place. Thank you to everybody that worked hard to accomplish that. So, that was something good to participate in if you have time. I also attended the Dolores Wetland meeting, which had a workshop from Ola Raza, the resources available to our community. I attended the First Friday Coffee last Friday as well, and it was nice to connect with staff. We don't always see them since they're doing work during business hours, and I got some insight on one of the leaks that we have been dealing with the city. I forget his name. So he informed me that it was a line that was, I guess, given to us by LSID, and now we are in charge of maintenance of it, and so he explained to me why it was taking so long. So I wanted to share that there is a process that we have to follow, that the city staff has to follow in order to make sure that properly ordered timely. So I just wanted to share that was great knowledge gained from the First Friday Coffee. And yeah, that is my report.
Thank you, Joe. Yolanda?
To attend it, the award banquet
Make sure your mic is.
there. Can you hear me now? You know, the best thing that I love is seeing the community there together. And to see Lieutenant Nate get his award for Man of the Year. That man has gone through so many chief of polices that it's not even funny. He's had to work with different people all the time. And he's always survived, he's always flourished. He's always been a good example for everyone. His coworkers, the rest of city employees, staff, and I just think he's really amazing.
It's because his wife's on council.
I know.
May?
Well, I also, attended the chamber dinner, to celebrate a lot of, our community members, but especially my husband, Nicolas, who was the man of the year and very well deserving. I could go on and on and on, but it was very deserving. It was a great night. Missy and I attended the football banquet, to celebrate our Lindsay High School varsity football team going to state. That was a really neat thing to be about, to be a part of, and each of the kids got a certificate like this, and the coaches, and it's a big deal to them to get this recognition from the city, and they were very appreciative. The parents especially, parents, they love these things, guys. So whatever you can do to get a certificate, they love them. We also attended the coffee talk. I love hanging out with our staff. I think being a community and building a team and making sure that we're all in alignment and we all do the same. I just use the district. You see that? I just use the district word. We all should be in alignment and want the same goals. I came yesterday to the city taco lunch, which was really, really good. La muñeca. I don't know who paid for it. I know I didn't. My plate was free.
They offered it for us.
They did really? Oh man, so please go to La Muñeca over at 508 South Mirage. That's great. I didn't know that. That's why you told me it was on you. That's great. And just a quick reminder, it's Girl Scout season, cookie season. So look out for little Girl Scouts that are gonna be posted at, they're gonna have a booth in front of State Mart. And I also may or may not be a Girl Scout leader. So please help them out. They're trying to achieve a lot of goals. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll piggyback on a lot of things they said. I won't go into too much detail, but I attended the Healthy Start Healthy Kids meeting. Should I say I ran it? I'm the chair on there now. So, if you don't know what Healthy Start is, they do a lot for our community members. I mean, they give a lot. This is an amazing organization. So, I think that was my first one. So attending it, I learned a lot. I mean, I thought I knew a lot. I learned a lot more there. So if you need any resources, there are go-to people for the community, especially for owners that are in need of, I mean, everything. Hit them up. But I attended the football banquet, like you said, it was amazing just to watch, we gave a lot of, the football team that pushed the proclamation, read that, and, gave the learners, award, so that was super cool. I attended the Chambers Awards. That was really cool. That was my first one, believe it or not, living here my whole life, and that was my first one I showed up to. So it was cool, and thank you, Armando, for putting that together for us. The first Friday talk, I attended that. That's always cool. I'm gonna piggyback off of you. That was, collaborating. I think that's what the city of Lindsay wants, us to collaborate and come together and make it better. And for people that don't know, I teach at Alton, and so I also coach the basketball team there, and we're 2-0 right now. So we play Citrus on Thursday, so you're more than welcome to come to the McDermott at 11 and watch us play. I think it'll give us a little challenge, and hopefully I can come out 3-0. So at the McDermott at 11 on Thursday. And then I also did the taco luncheon yesterday, which was amazing. I always love free food. So thank you. That's all I have for tonight. And we're gonna move on to staff updates, city services.
So I want to report back to council that, the city of Lindsay has agreed to sell 700 acres of our SPR water allotment to one more irrigation district for $200 per square feet. Gross amount for the sale of $140,000. After we pay for the water at a cost of $44,000, the net revenue to the city water fund will be $95,872 for the city fiscal year. Livermore Irrigation District plans on using the water for groundwater recharge. We have the city cleanup day scheduled for Saturday, March 15th, starting at 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. in the 1000 block of West Mariposa. The city will be posting the flyer on our social media in both Spanish and English, probably tomorrow. We plan on posting some banners around town, also to promote the event. A current ID with Lindsay address or Lindsay utility bill will be required. If anyone has questions, have them call city services at 559-562-7102. It's March 15th, starting at 7 a.m. If you've been watching the Weather Channel, there's a storm that's inbound. We're expecting it to hit tomorrow about 10 p.m. Current estimate is about 2 inches of rainfall between Wednesday night and Friday. So city services will be doing some preventative maintenance by checking storm drains and making sure it's staged in case it's needed. Checks will be conducted around town during the storm, in conjunction with the police department and the fire department. The city has sand and sandbags available to residents behind the city hall over here. We posted that on social media. And the last is an update on Olive Bowl. So although construction is still moving forward, we've been notified of an issue with the supply chain and acquiring the electrical control equipment over at Olive Bowl Park. The equipment was ordered as soon as the contract was awarded in October of 2024. However, we've been notified that delivery is not anticipated until December of 2025 due to these supply chain issues. So we're really evaluating, what effect that's going to have. Obviously, electricity is the issue. So we plan on bringing back more information to get that canceled. And that
Who's in charge of that program?
We have United is the or Unified is the main contractor. QK is our construction manager. Unified.
And then I have a question. You said the ID or utility bill for the city cleanup, so it has to be the city limits, right? Because I know inside the city limits, not. I pay my water at the city of Lindsay. So if they're on the county islands, they will qualify, or just.
If they're covered under the Mid-Valley contract, so they have to be a city address, city service address.
City service.
Thank you, Ryan. We're gonna move on to finance.
Good evening. The USDA audit response that was due on January 30th has been completed.
Open the mic, please.
No. You guys were all included on the submissions. I spoke to Serena today and she has reviewed our submissions. She'll be reaching out to us this week to start scheduling those meetings with city manager, finance director, and the council. The state audit corrective action plan has been completed and will be brought to the next city council meeting for ratification. I spoke with the auditors and they're looking to come back within the next couple of weeks to complete that audit for last year. The budget and cash flow continues to be monitored to identify deficit spending and cash flow needs. We will start the budget planning process for 25-26 once the audit has been completed for the prior year. And there have been several meetings for the new financial system. Currently, we are working on the utility billing module and the chart accounts. Are there any questions?
So the question was posed to us and nobody was more familiar with yourself with the finances. Do we need to declare an economic emergency, considering that we balanced the budget and are no longer in the deficit?
We are no longer in the from here. However, there are deficits that we really do need to address. And we are very close to becoming insolvent, so we really need to watch our dollars. Cash flow, we are needing to do some transfers to our funds rather than keep it in investments, which you'll see in the treasurer's report where the investments are going down in order to meet those cash flows. So yes, it's something that we are entirely with.
Is that a recommendation? Yes.
Yes, I've been making those recommendations.
Any other questions? No? Thank you, Lindsay. Moving on to human resources.
All right, so just a couple things to update you guys on, the 1094C, 1095 process, has been completed, for the city, so that was filed with the state of California for CA departments, so all staff will be receiving their CA 1095 and CN4s in the mail. Recruitment updates, I've got one, recreation part-time in our background process, we currently have 3 of our lifeguards that have been cleared fully, so I'll be working on a new, higher orientation with them starting March 3rd, so I get them fully cleared for wellness, so that way they can run with them for the season. I'm working on 2 additional rehires right now as well too, so they'll be in the process also. Just to recap a couple other positions, we have our fire apparatus engineer position that's currently posted. It'll be closing on February 18th. And then public safety officers, Rob can add to it, I'm just playing your thunder a little bit. But we received about 22 applications total, 7 of them met the minimum requirements. And on my end, the last week, we had about 5 to 6 confirmed for interviews that will be taking place on the 13th of this week. So that'll be going on for us. Any questions on those items so far?
Did you say those are for public safety?
Correct, yeah, so that'll be the public safety officers.
How many positions are?
I'm gonna let Rob confirm on that too. To find out, so out of the 5.
Can you say the title of the firefighter?
Yep, fire apparatus engineer. Sorry, I was talking about a minute.
That's okay, we're good.
And the last couple little things here. So Kyle OSHA obviously notified all employers that the most recent COVID prevention non-emergency standards ended as of February 3rd. I did send an email to you guys as well, so if you want to look into that into more details. Basically explained everything that was in that standard is no longer effective as of the 3rd this week. There are still some standards that we are required to abide by, including some record keeping that'll stay in place until February 3rd, 2026. So I've already got everything put in place to maintain that until we're no longer required to do so. And that's all I have for everybody.
Thank you, Mike. Do you have any questions? No, thank you.
All right.
Moving on to public safety.
Good evening, just to add on to Lance, we do have, got 2 public safety officer, positions that are open, and we have the interviews, that's the first stage is the application. Second stage is the interviews, which is Thursday. We have the 1 firefighter opening, full-time that's opening, we have 3 positions, 1 is open as well, I have 2 right now. We also had 2 of our 5 volunteers that turned in their resignation this last weekend. They went for full-time or paid employment in other agencies. So now we have a void in our volunteers. We also have improvement on that as well right now. And we also have 2 positions that are frozen in public safety. They're not open, but they're frozen. And that's pretty much it. Just the open recruitment for police officers is open recruitment. It's not, there is no closure on it. It's time to close every time. Firefighters closing very shortly, so we'll be testing for that as soon as we start.
What is frozen mean? When it comes to that?
What it means is we have 2 positions that we're not going to fill right now because we froze positions for salary, not really as much salary savings, but we just can't afford them right now.
Okay,
But we just didn't want to lose those positions for possibly down the road.
yeah. Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Can you say the volunteers, we have 5 to resign on 3, is that correct?
Yeah, we had 5 volunteer firefighters, which is a non-paid position. 2 of the 5, 2 of them went to other agencies for paid positions.
And what are the requirements if you want to volunteer to be a part of the public safety plan?
You have to have certain trainings. I don't know.
So that's basically the ground floor. So it's pretty much you have to pass the physical, not having medical problems. We teach you how to basically start from the bottom. And a lot of people will use that volunteer position to kind of springboard into taking the actual fire academy classes.
Do it, Joe.
I know, there you go.
Do it. It's so awesome.
We've got turnout for you.
We've got some turnouts that will fit you.
Wait, do you still have mine?
Both you guys.
I know.
Action. Thank you. More questions? We're moving on to recreation services. Mr. Armando.
Good evening, council. Couple of updates on projects. We are at finish line with 2 of our projects. This week they're installing the netting around the pickleball courts. So that should be completed hopefully tomorrow, but with the rain and whatnot, I think Friday's a more realistic date. Currently we're having our security cameras installed at the center. We have 12 cameras total. We'll have 1 facing the skate park, 1 at the pickleball courts, 2 in the pool area, a couple inside the facility, and 2 in the parking lot. So that should be completed, I'm hoping Friday or Monday. And then also I've been applying for a little bit of funding through different grants online. So Lowe's hometown program is a grant that they usually about $1 million, $100 million throughout the nation. I did apply for the American Spirit Mural behind McDermott. That way we get that refurbished and completed. We are planning a 9/11 mixer at the wellness center this year to raise some funds just in case we don't get the grants. Also, I applied for sand volleyball courts at City Park and also downtown tree lighting, those eco lights around the tree. I also applied at the those hometown program. Also, the California Health Collaborative mini grant. I did apply for that for the disc golf course at City Park. I have a meeting with them on Tuesday, and we'll go from there. That's all I have to report.
Nice, thank you. Hopefully we get all that money.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you please replace the bottom on it?
Yeah, I can go out there and measure. Marshall's here, so
Please, thank
help you
you.
with that.
Well, I just have, there was a group of kids that keep going out there and they're saying,
Okay.
but you've seen it. And I'm like, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that. So now every time I see it, they're like, what on it? I'm like, hang on, I know a guy. And so,
This golf course that you mentioned, that's already.
Yes, so, we have a partnership with Kiwanis. They're gonna cover the half the cost of the project. So we're estimating a little over $5,000 on the project. So if we do receive this grant of 5,000, and then you're looking at $100 each. City and Kiwanis, we do receive that 5,000 to cover the cost of the baskets, concrete poles, and signage for the course.
Thank you, Arthur. And moving on to the city manager report.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. I've been exploring some options for translation services over the past few months. And been made aware of AI, which is it's an AI powered translation service, and it also does multilingual captioning, recording. Megan and I attended a webinar recently. We had the opportunity to experiment with the technology and actually see it in action. I'd initially planned on having Kudo.ai do a presentation for council tonight, but we learned that we need some additional equipment that we don't currently have to make that platform work. But thanks to the creative efforts of Megan and Ryan, they were able to come up with a similar solution using Zoom, which, as you can see, we are testing tonight as a trial run. So we do have translation services available on the screen. And so thank you to Megan and Ryan for working together to get that done. Kudo.ai is fairly affordable. We're still looking at that, but the Zoom solution is even more budget friendly. So we're going to give that a try and see how it works for a while. Had a meeting with CSET regarding the Hermosa property, and it looks like there is some potential grant funding to rehabilitate that property. We're going to have to do a feasibility study. So, and feasibility study costs money. So we're going to have to look closely at that. I also attended the football banquet with the mayor, Armando, Lance. We presented the high school football team with the proclamation of congratulations for their accomplishment. We also gave each player a certificate of recognition. I also attended the awards ceremony where Lieutenant Nate was honored as Man of the Year. It was just a great time. On February the 6th, I met with a company called B&A Grant Solutions Software, also known as Blaze and Associates, to explore potential partnership for pursuing grant opportunities. And during a recent discussion that I had with the city manager of Farmsville, he mentioned that Blaze and Associates is a firm that is helping them secure a lot of the funding for numerous projects there in the city of Farmsville. I'm sure they're seeing those. Had a good meeting with the Blaze team, and it's interesting to note that a lot of the administrative costs for grant writing can be written into the grant proposals, so there's no cost to the city. There is a minimal monthly research fee. Don't know the exact details of that, so we get a proposal for them, which I expect to have this week for the first part of the next. I know the lunch on the lawn by Tacos La Moreca was discussed earlier, but just want to give a shout out to them for their generous contribution to city staff. They came in a couple of weeks ago, made contact with us, and wanted to do something special for employees to show their appreciation. And we had a great time. Actually, it was a little chilly out there on the lawn, but the tacos were absolutely amazing. So I would encourage everyone here to go buy lunch at tacos. Early this morning, I had the honor of representing the city at the ceremonies at the World Ag Expo. I was able to spend a few minutes with Senator as well as several other elected officials from across the county. And then earlier this afternoon, I met with Virginia Loya to discuss this year's Friday Night Market. She mentioned that they do have some new vendors that they will be bringing on board, and the first market of the season was scheduled for March the 7th. And that concludes my report.
And then what if our council member wants to make an announcement? You have to-
Yes, I forgot to mention, on February 22nd, we will be hosting a car seat event slash bike rodeo slash skate rodeo at Lincoln School. February 22nd is a Saturday, it's from 9 to 1. We partnered with CHP, Awake Skate Shop, Kiwanis, TCAG, Tulare County Public Health, Healthy Start, Alted. There's gonna be a bunch of us, hoping to help out the community, and we help by providing car seat safety, how to install your car seat properly. Kiwanis is gonna be there. We have helmets for our skateboarders and our bike riders. CHP is donating some bikes that are gonna be raffled. A Week Skate Shop is also donating a couple of skateboards. So, come on out. I will send, a flyer to Megan to send out to all you guys. So hopefully you guys can join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we're moving on to presentation. We have one presentation.
Yes, is Lorena, She's gonna be providing a presentation for the Ono Sister City. Pull it up real quick.
Konnichiwa. Hello, council members, city staff, everybody. So I'm Laura Cortez. I'm Lorena Leon. And we're here, on behalf of the Lindsay Ono Sister City program. And we have just some slides. So every time there's a new council or new staff members, we like to come and give a presentation, let you guys know what the organization is about. And you know, what we're looking is just to continue to strengthen our relationship as a community organization and then with the city as well. Even though Lindsay is a small city, it is one with deep rooted histories, strong traditions, and a community that takes pride in its resilience and unity. And that is something that we have very much in common with Ono City from Japan. So, one way that we celebrate our connections beyond our city is through this program that fosters this cultural exchange, mutual learning, and then lasting relationships. So we move on to the next slide. You'll see that this program has been in existence since 1973. And many of our Lindsay students, educators, council members, and city staff have benefited from this program by traveling as part of a delegation to Ono City, Japan. So maybe one day, some of you guys that are here can also join the delegation. I know a council member that actually went as a student when he was in Lindsay High School. So, and then Lorena and I are both delegates as well. So we're very invested not only in this program, but in what it stands for. So, right. And when this started, it actually started because our neighbor in city of Visalia developed a sister relationship with, I can't remember now the name of the city in Japan. But anyways, as a result of that, you know, there were some Lindsay people there who were interested in also developing this sister city relationship. So not too long ago, we celebrated our 50th year celebration of this amazing sister city bond. And as a result, you know, like I said, we've had delegations come and go. And the city, when it first started, was very, very involved. It kind of started off, like I said, with the Lindsay Kiwanis Club and some of that involvement in the community. But the city actually authorized a resolution. It is number 1431, if you ever want to look into that. And then on February 17th, 1973, the charter was signed by mayors at the time, the Lindsay mayor and the Ono City mayor. And that is what solidified the sister city relationship and the formal relationship we have. And so, next slide. Like I mentioned, so throughout the years, we've just been a volunteer-run organization. We've kind of kept it afloat. There's been years where it's like we're scrambling for everything. And so one of the things that has really helped us is not only the commitment of our delegates and families and previous delegates that have gone, but also this relationship that we've had with the city. We take pride in that relationship because again, our youth and then just different adults in the community have the opportunity to go to Ono and really demonstrate the pride that we have. And I'll speak from personal experience. I don't think I ever felt so much pride being a Lindsay resident than when I went there. We were like superstars. Like they want to take pictures with you. They want to talk to you. They want to touch you in appropriate manners. But it was just amazing because I didn't realize how much, well, then I didn't realize how much appreciation I had from my own community. So I just want to say it really does give us a different perspective even going there, the way that they see us. So again, we're volunteers, and to sustain this, we do appreciate the relationship and the support that we've gotten from the city, allowing us to host meetings. We still host them here in the chambers. We moved to the wellness center. We host about 4 to 6 meetings a year, kind of to plan our activities. And then we have our 1 annual chicken teriyaki dinner. And that is our fundraiser. That's what helps us help the delegates pay for some of their traveling expenses. It is expensive to go out there. So that is the 1 fundraiser dinner that we have every year. So we just want to let you know that we appreciate that, and we hope that we can continue that. The days are getting close when we're going to have our traveling to Ono, Japan. This year we're sending 12 delegates, 4 adults and 8 students from Lindsay, and they'll be going during our spring break. And before they go on April 5th, we're scheduled to have our fundraiser dinner, and we tie that to Orange Blossom festivities as well. So it's right after the Orange Blossom coronation, we'll have our dinner.
We hope that you're gonna buy a ticket and come support our fundraiser. Like Lala said, we do host the Orange Blossom and the Queen in her court right after coronation. So that's a great time for you to come out and pick up dinner for the family. Any questions?
What date is the date of the fundraiser?
April 5th. Same day as coronation, right afterwards. I don't know if you've ever wondered how we got at Ono City Parkway. The mayor of Ono donated, I believe it was like $10,000 to the city of Lindsay to continue the friendship and, make that little area nice. I know when they were here last year, they were like, please take us to the location. They took lots of pictures. They were very fond of the work that we've done to keep it up.
And then as you can see by the pictures, they actually have a replica of our city sign that we have, nearby McDonald's. They have a replica at their park in the city.
So they're coming next year? Or is it coming?
Yes, they're coming next year. So this year we're sending. They host us this year and we host them next year.
Cool. Thank you. Any other questions? No? Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Are these student delegates? Oh, well, Devlin is scheduled to go in 2 years. But this is my COS class that I teach on Tuesday nights. We teach it, they're Lindsay High School learners that are trying to get ahead of pace. And so one of the assignments was to come to class to see what it's all about. They didn't even know what the location was. So it was an eye opener for some of my learners.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Welcome. Moving on to the consent calendar. Routine items approved in one motion unless an item is pulled for discussion. There will be no separate discussion on these matters unless a request is made. In which event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar to be discussed and voted upon by a separate motion. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Then we'll be approving the consent calendar.
A second.
We have a motion to approve from Councilmember Nave, and a second from Councilmember Soria. Mayor Pro Tem Flores. Aye. Mayor Villarreal.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
We're moving on to action items. We have 12.1, the amendment of the Lindsay Economic Development Community bylaws. Action and recommendation.
Yes, so this was as council requested at the last meeting to update the bylaws to increase the number of committee members from 5 to 6. So as part of the staffers report, you'll see the bylaws with the track changes where that update has been made, but that's the only change. So just bringing that back for you.
So we changed it to 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if this is approved, then tomorrow we'll open the application period for the 2 vacancies. It'll close, I believe it's the day of the next council meeting. Yeah, and so then we'll bring it back.
All right, thank you guys so much.
We can possibly have,
Yeah, so I mean, you could do it again, or sometimes you just have to, it's up to you. Yeah.
Do we have to approve it?
Yeah, you'll have to approve the resolution in order to update the bylaws. I do believe we need to take a public comment.
So yeah, do we have public comment for 12.1? No public comment. A motion? A second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Soria, a second from Mayor Villarreal. Councilmember name? Mayor Pro Tem Flores? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Moving on to 13.1, discussion items. City contributions to the community events, action and recommendations. David?
Thank you, Mayor. So over the past couple of months, council has expressed interest in exploring the potential of making financial contributions to certain community events. As you are all well aware, the city's budget is very tight, but there is an existing line item in the budget for community events that has historically been used for Christmas lights. With the current fiscal year's general fund balanced, but facing challenges from our historical deficit, we have to be very cautious about reallocating funds. So just some considerations. As I mentioned, the budget is very tight right now. While we are currently balanced with our general fund, we have an outstanding deficit from years past that we're having to address. The current year designated community events line item provides a mechanism for targeted funding without creating any new expenditures, since the Christmas lights came in a little under budget this year. So there is some opportunity there to reallocate a portion of those funds. California public law, we have to consider that when it comes to gifting of public funds and making direct financial contributions. In order to make a contribution to a community event, there has to be a legitimate public purpose, and there has to be clear documentation outlining the community benefit. So this was sort of a group effort with staff. We came up with an idea to amend the council handbook to potentially add the provision of allowing each council member to be allocated up to $1,200 annually from the existing community events budget. And those funds could be used for community events or initiatives that serve a administrative public purpose. There would be eligibility criteria that would be put in place. Again, it would have to serve a legitimate community benefit, could not be construed as a personal gift, and there would have to be clear written documentation accompanying each funding request. If this is something that the council would be interested in, staff's recommendation to amend the council handbook for the allocation of funds for each council member. And then those requests would be reviewed against a set of criteria. And we will put together a transparent process for reporting and tracking expenditures. So this is not the perfect solution. You know, we did have a little bit of cost savings this year with that particular line item. We don't know what it'll look like next year, but it does offer us a flexible but structured approach for council members to support community events that they feel strongly about. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Just again, the fiscal impact we feel is manageable within the context of the city's existing budget constraints, since the funds are reallocated from current year's existing community events line. And we'll have to continually monitor the ongoing costs of this program and make sure that we remain within budget and provide the intended community.
Thank you. I think it's a good idea. They're gonna see that we're giving back to our community, you know, even if it's just a little bit, because they're always asking, we're like, we can't do it. And for 1,200, so that'd be $6,000 total, right? And it have to be spent in like this year, because it doesn't roll over.
Correct.
Correct, okay.
This is per fiscal year?
Yes.
You have any other questions?
Wait, so we have to spend it by July? Or does it start,
I think it starts in July.
starts in July and
beginning.
it goes after July? Right.
Can we do IOUs?
So to be clear, Danny, the budget already has a line that's for beautification during the holidays, is that correct?
It's community events is the line item.
Mhm.
And out of that line, expenditures for the Christmas lights in the downtown.
Was that the only expense in that outline, or was there anything else?
I believe that was the only expenditure.
So if we were to approve this and if we couldn't find another source of funding for the lights, we wouldn't be able to have the same type of setup?
Well, currently this year, there's a remaining balance in that fund that's sufficient to cover the $6,000 that the council would be out. We would be hopeful that we could get the same deal on the Christmas lights next year. Can't guarantee it. We would have to do that.
So there's no guarantee that we could have the lights. If we approve this, we're hedging our bets that we get a big discount.
It's all about prioritizing the funds.
Thank you. I really do think that it's important that we save every penny. I don't think it's necessarily prudent to give us the opportunity to spend $6,000 when we hear from a lot of our staff that it's becoming difficult. I really do think it's important that we do keep that budget in mind. I would recommend that we wait to go through the budget process again. I really do appreciate the thought, and I really do want to be able to get back to people. I just really do think it's important that we prioritize our fiscal responsibility to our staff, and we really are in such a high position. I don't think it's necessary that we have discretionary funds. I know that there's going to be a strict policy to follow and procedure. I just don't think it's necessary at the time. It's considering the optics. What would the optics be like if we hear the city council approves $6,000 that they can spend towards community events? And I really do think it's important that we consider that. And I would like to table this till we have the next fiscal budget.
Any other concerns?
No, I agree with them. But right now, we have to do something about our financial. I mean, we can't be just spending money on,
I don't think it's spending money like just like blowing it. I think if we don't use it, where does it go? Like it goes away, right?
Well, it's just, I mean, it doesn't affect your fund balance, it's still in the budget, but just because it's a line item in the budget doesn't mean it's. And
Yeah, I agree.
it's true not to use.
Yeah. So it's just an option, he's giving us the option to give back to the community. I mean, I don't mind taking it and having more discussion on it, but like, it's not going to, like, the $6,000 isn't going to any employees or anything like that, it just goes back into the community.
No, I agree. I would be in favor of this if we had no debt, or if we were operating with a surplus of $1 million. We're operating, what is it, 200,000, I think, for the current year, right? Yeah, so, and that literally could go away if we need a vehicle, if something happens catastrophically. Our funds are really low, and I really do think that it's not a large amount of money, but to me, it's just a message that we're sending to our community. It's something that I personally would love to see happen. I would love to be able to support a community event by being sponsored and being able to provide them with a $1,200 check or split $300 for 4 different community events. I would love to be able to do that. I could not be in favor of that currently just because we haven't gone through the budgeting process for the next fiscal year, and yes, it is a line item, but I personally, I really want to get it done, just to revisit it after we've gone through the budget process, just because I don't feel comfortable sending that symbol to the community that we're allocating this specifically for the city council members individually, correct? Right, it would be an individual donation. So yeah, that's my priority, to make sure that people understand it's everybody's talking about. And yes, it's not a large amount, but I think it's the symbolism of just tying it up all the way around, starting at the top.
Now, if we don't spend it, does it disappear or does it stay? Yeah, I know like state fundings work,
Well, the fund balance remains.
okay, I think we had that discussion, I just want to get to be clear. Okay,
Is that we have to clear that we're in an emergency status right now. And I hope all of you take this very, very seriously. Because one wrong move and our city will not be the city that we all know and love.
so we in agreement of tabling it? Yeah. Okay,
I think that's a pretty decision. Just for clarity, the only reason we brought this back tonight is the council.
Yeah.
Requested.
thank you for that.
We'll revisit once we go through the budget process. Maybe if we get a quote for the lights, I'm a big fan of the lights, or down
Yeah, we use yours. Yeah,
but I was just thinking,
we're gonna hire you to do the light.
You guys.
Megan? All right, now we're going into a closed session. You guys are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to go home and have dinner. And we're moving into Back from closed session, nothing to report. Any requests for future items?
Oh, I'd like, to check on the developers. You get an update?
All the development projects?
Yep.
I noticed that I had this discussion with you, Damon, about, you gave me that information on, like, the prohibited roosters in the city limits. I know, people, are a little extra expensive, but people like calling me, texting me, like, hey, did these things ever shut up?
You don't need roosters.
Or chickens.
I don't think you need roosters.
Oh,
Chickens should be able to have roosters. I don't think you can have.
ew, okay, so I'm learning that. I was like, wherever chicken.
And then the roosters fertilize them for more, otherwise you just get them.
Hens are okay. Roosters.
Okay, well, that's yeah, so I don't know, I have like addresses too, if you wanna.
I can send you the, out of the municipal code, I can send you.
I
one
sent it.
tonight.
Okay,
I just, that's something, it's just a beauty code. I'll pull up the exact section and I can send it out. And kind of outline what they're, yes, it's, you can have chickens, you just can't have.
They'll lay no matter what. It just won't be fertilized.
And we have, through our code enforcement, we go out for roosters. And we can,
well, we just learned something. Okay.
TVU's told me that.
I had that reminded me, I had someone reach out to me at animal control and know that that's we used to provide, if we could find a agency to partner with, to plan that maybe for following fiscal year, to make that a priority, have lots of strays, cats and dogs and roosters. So I really think that that's something that would be benefit, maybe hire someone who can stay in it.
We're actually working on potential plans to bring back council consideration. And if I might, we already have a program with cats right now. It's a catch and release program, because they're non-domesticated roaming animals, so. What we do, we catch them, we have a contract, have them spayed or neutered to the other cat.
Yeah.
We have that done and then it's back. So that's what we do. We don't do that with dogs, but we're keeping up with the dogs the best that we can. We've been very fortunate so far. We had one for probably 6 weeks. Finally found a rescue to take her. So now we're having dogs.
Where do you shelter them?
You're behind the
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take a dog that's trained already.
Right.
so when we looked at this kind of a year ago, just to give you some context, the other cities that are our similar size, get our kind of level, we're talking about $200,000 for some of these contracts. So we've spent significant time trying to explore other options, get a little creative with it, and the city manager said that's kind of where we're at right now.
So, general fund.
You good?
Just let the dogs up.
All right, well, meeting adjourned. Everybody have a good night.
Who knows?
Hey.